This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. All 36 victims of the Oakland warehouse fire reportedly died of smoke inhalation. The nominees for the 59th Grammy Awards are announced this morning. Beyoncé and Adele are both nominated in multiple categories. Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Cheyenne Conaway.
And I'm Zaida Diaz. President-elect Trump continues to work on his cabinet picks as he finishes up his thank you tour. Trump has already selected 10 cabinet jobs, which need Senate confirmation. Today, Trump will formally announce James Mattis as Defense Secretary. He is also considering Supreme Court Justice nominees from a list he released during his campaign, featuring 21 potential conservative candidates. Among those in consideration to succeed the late Justice Antonin Scalia include William Pryor, who voiced his opposition for Roe v. Wade, and Dianne Sykes, who currently sits on the 7th Circuit. Trump must also fill the jobs of Secretary of State and a number of other cabinet jobs.
Demonstrators in Standing Rock, North Dakota plan to stay on site at the pipeline due to their uncertainty of the future. Sunday, the Army Corps of Engineers stopped construction on the Dakota Access Pipeline, but protesters and activists say they feel the fight is far from over. With Trump taking office in January, the decision to reroute the pipeline could be reversed. Trump has said he supports the pipeline project and he owns stocks in both companies constructing the project. Protesters have endured months of extreme weather conditions, high winds, rain, and blizzards. The Army says they are looking for alternate routes for the $3.7 billion pipeline. Veterans who protested with those in Standing Rock asked Indigenous peoples for forgiveness for the mistreatment they faced by the U.S. military. The Corps of Engineers has asked protesters to leave the site, but they say they don't plan on heavily enforcing the eviction.
Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi has been asked to stay in office until the country's budget is approved. Renzi has intended to resign after a crushing defeat at the polls for his constitutional reforms package.
I lost instead. In the politics, Italian politics, nobody lose. They don't win, but never anyone lose. I am different. I lost. And I say this loudly, also with a lot of pain.
There's a possibility that a caretaker administration could be appointed to keep the country running until the 2018 elections. According to Italy's ANSA's news agency, the budget law could be approved by Friday.
Today, the death toll in the Oklahoma fire has reached 36. The Ghost Ship warehouse building caught fire during an electric dance party Friday night. Founder of the Oakland Ghost Ship, Derek Ione Almina, visited the scene of the fire.
I can barely stand here right now. I would rather get on the floor and be trampled by the parents. I'd rather let them tear at my flesh than answer these ridiculous questions.
Many stories have surfaced since the fire, reporting that Almina ignored signs that the artist hangout was dangerous. The death toll is not expected to rise, and fire officials say, as of today, the building is 85% cleared. This is reportedly one of the deadliest fires in the city's history.
New Orleans police have arrested NFL player Joe McKnight's shooter on a charge of manslaughter. Ronald Gasser was taken into custody Thursday after fatally shooting the 28-year-old during a road rage dispute. McKnight was rated the nation's #1 running back when he signed with USC. He played with the New York Jets for 3 seasons, and in 2011, he had a 107-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It remains the longest play in Jets history. Gasser was released Friday morning without being charged, but this raised criticism from protesters who believe that the race played a role in the investigation. Authorities say that the arrest didn't come until today because they were strategically searching for independent witnesses.
This month, the U.S. military will return more than 9,800 acres of land to Japan that it's held since World War II. It is the largest return of U.S.-occupied land since then. The formal handover is due to take place on December 21st and December 22nd. The U.S.'s relationship with residents in Okinawa has deteriorated following several violent incidents related to American bases on the island. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe will visit Pearl Harbor with President Barack Obama in late December. He will be the first Japanese leader to visit the site since the end of World War II. He says the visit is to soothe the souls of the victims and that Japan and the U.S. should never repeat the ravages of the war.
Los Angeles federal and local law enforcement is increasing security at transit stations after receiving a terror threat into the Universal City Metro station. According to the FBI, the threat was telephoned by an anonymous source to a law enforcement line in a foreign country on Monday. Investigators are still examining the credibility of the threat. Mayor Eric Garcetti has expressed his confidence in law enforcement and has asked the public to be prepared for random bag searches. Garcetti rode the red lines today during morning rush hour after a show of support.
Vice President Joe Biden says he won't be leaving office anytime soon. On his way to the Democratic caucus meeting in the Capitol, Biden jokingly told CNN he is going to run for president in 2020. He later clarified that he's not committing to anything just yet, but he loves being in office. Biden represented Delaware in the Senate for 36 years before becoming President Barack Obama's vice president in 2008. Biden ran for president in 1988 and in 2008, but decided not to run this election and endorse Hillary Clinton instead.
Michigan will become the second state after Wisconsin to conduct a recount of ballot casts in the 2016 presidential election. U.S. District Judge Mark Goldsmith issued an order for Michigan election officials to recount ballot Monday at noon. Michigan Attorney General Bill Schuette filed a lawsuit to stop the recount.
And you have to be an injured party, an aggrieved party. And, Jill Stein received 1% of the 4.8 million votes that were cast on November 8th.
Schuette says it will put Michigan voters at risk of paying millions and potentially losing their voice in the Electoral College.
Now, let's go to Ke-Alani Sarmiento in the newsroom with student suggestions on how to beat stress.
Load up on some coffee because finals week is here. You can hear crickets at Cal State Northridge as students have their heads buried in their books. CSUN has various outlets for students to de-stress. The campus offers stress management classes and educational counseling in Bayramian Hall. Students who are looking to release some tension can get a free 5-minute massage while listening to the soothing music at the Oasis facility. You can also get a full massage, acupuncture, or speak with a nutritionist.
At times it definitely does get stressful, but I just got to keep your head up, I guess, and, work through it.
Insanely stressed because I'm a freshman, so this is my first time taking finals, and it's crazy.
Pretty stressed out. This is my first year here. I just transferred from College of the Canyons, so it's kind of a lot going on, a lot of business classes, all upper division. It's a lot to take in.
Now that we know how students prepare for finals, let's hear what tips they have for their peers.
Don't procrastinate, because my biggest problem was procrastination.
Don't procrastinate. Like, if you need to study, just study. Don't be like, I'll do it later, because later never comes.
Don't procrastinate. Maybe pick up surfing. It's actually really fun. It's cool.
Do you tend to procrastinate during times when I have to write essays?
Now let's go back to the studio with Lucas Talbot on More on Health.
My mother always tells me it is recommended to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Now, a new study says if you are even 1 or 2 hours shy of the 7 hours, you will double the risk of a crash the next day. Senior Research Association for the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, Brian Teff, says they were surprised to find an increase in crash risk when a driver had slept just 1 hour less than 7 hours recommended by sleep experts. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported in February that 1/3 of adults in the U.S. are getting less than 7 hours of sleep. The CDC called insufficient sleep a public health problem. The family of a cyberbullying victim says they hope their daughter's suicide will raise awareness. The 18-year-old who had been bullied overweight killed herself in front of her family. Brandy Velas ended her life by shooting herself in the chest. Brandy's sister, Jackie, told CNN her sister had been a victim of cyberbullying. Vela would ignore messages that were sent to her and even change her phone number as a result. Authorities couldn't do anything because the suspect used an app that was untraceable. The victim's father says the family is recovering from the tragedy with the support of the community.
A lot of times words don't heal. when people come around, that's what's building me up, you know, seeing the support.
Brandy's family has donated her organs and hoped to meet the person who received her beautiful eyes. The National Steak and Poultry has recalled about 2 million pounds of ready-to-eat chicken. The product is sold fully cooked, and all consumers have to do is heat it up. The USDA Food Safety Inspection Service says the recall was issued because of possible undercooking. Undercooked chicken causes a bacteria to grow that can lead to gastrointestinal illness. There are no confirmed reports of illness related or caused by the product. Let's go to Angie Tapia with more on college student hunger.
A new report shows almost half of college students experienced food insecurity within the past 30 days. Here at CSUN, the Matador Involvement Center and the Women's Research and Resource Center have opened food pantries this semester. The food pantry isn't able to store fresh produce, but options like frozen vegetables are available. The organizers say they hope to provide a variety of food that works with students' living situations. The number of food pantries on college campuses are beginning to grow. The study from the College and University Food Bank Alliance says 56% of food insecure students were currently employed, but were unable to support themselves while in school. President-elect Donald Trump says he wants to cancel government plans to build 2 new Air Force One jets. Trump says in a tweet this morning, Boeing is building a brand new 744 Air Force One for future presidents, but costs are out of control at more than $4 billion. Cancel order. Trump says he doesn't believe Boeing should make such a big profit.
Well, the plane is totally out of control. It's going to be over $4 billion. It's for Air Force One program. And I think it's ridiculous. I think Boeing is doing a little bit of a number. We want Boeing to make a lot of money, but not that much money.
A Boeing official says they aren't sure where Trump is getting that number from, since they don't know all of the security features and it is hard to give an estimated cost. Air Force isn't even certain whether it wants 2 or 3 planes. Air Force has budgeted $2.9 billion through 2021 for 2 new Air Force Ones. The new planes aren't expected to be ready to fly until 2022. The Air Force has already spent $93 million preparing to build the new jets, according to the Defense Department budget documents. Manufacturing has not begun. Boeing shares were slightly lowered after Trump's comments. Google says it's buying renewable energy in 2017 to power all of its operations. Due to climate change, Google says it has a responsibility as a multinational business to help the environment. Google describes the renewable energy as good business sense. Company officials say 13 data centers and offices consume nearly 5.7 terawatt hours of electricity annually. That's equivalent to the electricity the entire city of San Francisco uses. Google's long-term goal is to run on clean, zero-carbon energy full-time every day of the year. The company has been working on increasing the renewable energy it uses since 2014. Let's toss the ball back to Lucas for a wrap on the NBA.
Golden State Warrior guard Klay Thompson's previous career high in points was 52 points. He broke it last night against the Indiana Pacers. Thompson torched the Pacers for 60 points. He needed only 29 minutes to score 60 and needed only 30 shots to reach it. The Warriors scored 80 points by the time the first half was over. 40 of the 80 points were Thompson. Thompson did not play in the fourth quarter. The Warriors won the game 142-106. The Los Angeles Lakers played their first game at Staples Center against the Utah Jazz since returning from their 4-game road trip. The Lakers continue to get bit by the injury bug, having already lost 4 players. Backup center Tariq Black goes down with a right ankle sprain in the third quarter. Guard Gordon Hayward scored 23 points for the Jazz. Guard Lou Williams comes off the bench to score 38 points for the Lakers. The Lakers lose 107-101. New York Yankee legend Derek Jeter is going to have his number 2 jersey retired on Mother's Day in 2017. The Yankees organization announced Jeter would also get a Monument Park plaque at Yankee Stadium on May 14th. Jeter played all 20 years of his major league career with the Yankees. The shortstop helped the team to win 5 World Series titles and earn 14 All-Star game selections. Jeter added 5 Gold Gloves, 5 Silver Sluggers and finished in the top 10 in the MVP voting 8 times. Jeter is expected to make it into the Hall of Fame at Cooperstown. It was an emotional press conference for starting pitcher Rich Hill. Hill signed a 3-year deal worth $48 million with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was the first big contract of his career, and he has been derailed by multiple injuries. The 36-year-old was acquired by the Dodgers from the Oakland A's at the trade deadline in August. Hill told reporters on Monday that his blister problems were behind him. Hill says a big motivation for returning to the Dodgers is the presence of fellow ace Clayton Kershaw, who pushes him to be one of the best pitchers in baseball, even at the age of 36. Let's wrap it up with Angie for more on the classic remake of The Mummy.
The trailer of the new version of The Mummy starring Tom Cruise is out.
Welcome to a new world of gods and monsters.
The Mummy is directed by Alex Kurtzman and written by John Spates. The movie also stars Russell Crowe and Courtney B. Vance. It reportedly includes many of Cruise's signature action moves. The film will be released on June 9, 2017. The Academy Awards have announced that Jimmy Kimmel will host the 2017 Oscars. Kimmel, who hosts his own late-night show, has also hosted the Emmys, ESPYs, and the AMAs. The Oscars will air February 26th. Nominations will be announced January 24th. Lady Gaga tells the residents of a homeless LGBT center she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Gaga says she suffers from the mental illness at Harlem's Ali Fournier Center in a taped segment that aired on Today's Show Friday. She was raped at the age of 19. She visited the center as a collaboration between her foundation Born This Way and the NBC Morning Show. She took clothing, gifts, and donuts for the youth. She even performed a song from her latest album and took the pictures with the youth and staff. She spent a couple of hours sharing her own struggles and experiences. Let's go to Mabelynn Capeluj for more on the Grammy nominations.
People are talking about the 59th annual Grammy Awards nominations and whether rapper Kanye West will be appearing at the awards show now that he's up for 8 awards. R&B artist Frank Ocean was not on the list of nominees. Kanye said he's going to boycott if Ocean isn't recognized by the awards show. Ocean released his album Blonde and Endless earlier this year, but declined to enter it. Here are some reactions.
Kanye every year has some kind of comment about, someone. So I think Kanye is interjecting himself a lot of times, and he needs to shut up, okay?
He has all the right to. I mean, Frank Ocean is a pretty good artist, so if he feels like he needs to do that, freedom of speech, why not?
Kanye's a good trendsetter. He's gonna have a lot of people's attentions if you really think about it. So what Kanye thinks, a lot of people that are buying his Yeezys, that listen to his music, that just follow him in general and his lifestyle, or Kim Kardashian, whatever, they're gonna go for it.
Beyonce leads the list of nominees with 9 nominations, while Drake, Rihanna, and Kanye were nominated for 8. Now back to Zaida in the studio.
Probably won't be walking in a winter wonderland this December. Temperatures today are in the low 60s with partial clouds throughout the day. A slight temperature increase is expected throughout the week. This gives you plenty of time to decorate the outside of your homes before the holidays.
A video is going viral today of an Australian man punching a kangaroo. Greg Tonkins was out pig hunting when he found his dog forced into a headlock by a large kangaroo. What looked like a boxing fight resulted in Tonkins punching the kangaroo in the face. A National Geographic explorer who studies kangaroos says that they don't usually box, but instead like to fight with their hind legs. Online commentators are expressing their concern over the viral video, some asking why Tonkins didn't just leave the scene once his dog was free from the marsupial's grasp. Tonkins is a zookeeper at the Tongan Western Plains Zoo. The zoo plans on doing a thorough investigation of the incident. Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Cheyenne Conaway.
I'm Zaida Diaz.
I'm Lucas Talbot.
And I'm Angelica Tapia.